The coconut tree provides food, fuel, cosmetics, folk medicine, and building materials, among many other uses. Coconut palms are normally cultivated in hot and wet tropical climates. They need year-round warmth and moisture to grow well and fruit. Coconut palms are hard to establish in dry climates and cannot grow there without frequent irrigation. In drought conditions, the new leaves do not open well, and older leaves may become desiccated. Fruit also tends to be shed. The main limiting factor for most locations that satisfy the rainfall and temperature requirements is canopy growth, except those locations near coastlines, where the sandy soil and soil spray limit the growth of most other trees. The coconut palm is grown throughout the tropics for decoration, as well as for its many culinary and non-culinary uses. Virtually every part of the coconut palm can be used by humans in some manner, and has significant economic value. Thinner flesh of the mature seed, as well as the coconut milk extracted from it, form a regular part of the diets of many people, in the tropics and subtropics. Prior to production, coconuts are received, weighed and sorted and dehusked. Well, coconut water is extracted, by piercing the eyes of the coconut. The fruits must be deshelled to extract the coconut meat, which is the raw materials for milk and oil. Hand sanitation is performed regularly to avoid any cross-contamination. The coconut meat is then transferred for final cleaning, and detailed quality checks. Commercially processed coconut milk products use largely the same processes to extract coconut milk from pulp, though they use more mechanical equipment like deshelling machines, grinders and pulverizers, motorized coconut shredders, and coconut milk extractors. They differ significantly in the bottling or canning process, however. Processed coconut milk is first filtered through 100 mesh filters. They are pasteurized indirectly by double boiling at around 70 degrees centigrade, carefully not exceeding 80 degrees centigrade, the temperature at which coconut milk starts to coagulate. After pasteurization, they are immediately transferred to filling vessels and sealed before being cooled down. They are then packed into bottles, cans, or pouches and blast frozen for storage and transport. Manufacturers of canned coconut milk typically combine diluted and comminuted milk with the addition of water as a filler. Depending on the brand and age of the milk itself, a thicker, more paste-like consistency floats to the top of the can and is sometimes separated and used in recipes that require coconut cream rather than coconut milk. Some brands sold in Western countries undergo homogenization and add additional thickening agents and emulsifiers to prevent the milk from separating inside the can. Due to factors like pasteurization and minimal contact with oxygen, processed coconut milk generally has a longer shelf life than traditionally prepared coconut milk. The coconut milk is then pumped into the filtration process for final packaging. Coconut milk is packed in various types of containers depending on market destinations, and the final inspection is performed by the laboratory team before shipping. The two most common harvesting methods are the climbing method and the pole method. Climbing is the most widespread, but it is also more dangerous and requires skilled workers. Manually climbing trees is traditional in most countries and requires a specific posture that exerts pressure on the trunk with the feet. The pole method uses a long pole with a cutting device at the end. In the Philippines, the traditional tool is known as the halabas and is made from a long bamboo pole with a sickle-like blade mounted at the tip. Though safer and faster than the climbing method, it can be harvested every month from a coconut palm. To economize, farmers usually yield 2 to 3 bunches from each tree. This occurs every harvest cycle, which ranges between 45 to 60 or 75 to 90 days. On average, 10 to 45 nuts can be collected from each coconut tree at various maturity stages every harvest cycle. Coconut cream can be dehydrated into coconut milk powder, which has a far longer shelf life. They are processed by adding maltodextrin and casein to coconut cream to improve fluidity, and then spray drying the mixture. The powder is packaged in moisture-proof containers. Coconut skim milk is coconut milk with very low levels of fat, 0% to 1.5%. It is a byproduct of coconut cream in coconut oil production, and is usually discarded. However, they are increasingly being used as a food ingredient for products that require coconut flavoring without the fats, including coconut powder, coconut honey, and coconut jam. They can also be used as a base in the production of coconut milk beverages used as milk substitutes, as they do not contain the high levels of the fat characteristic of regular coconut milk, while still being a good source of soluble proteins. Coconut water serves as a suspension for the endosperm of the coconut during its nuclear phase of development. Later, the endosperm matures and deposits onto the coconut rind during the cellular phase. It is consumed throughout the humid tropics, and has been introduced into the retail market as a processed sports drink. Mature fruits have significantly less liquid than young, immature coconuts, barring spoilage. Coconut water can be fermented to produce coconut vinegar. In the early years of coconut oil production, the coconutty aroma was commonly associated with natural the coconut. This is mainly because the first products of coconut involved significant heating, and thus the existence of this aroma. With the advent of good quality virgin coconut oil, like centrifuged virgin coconut oil, The coconutty aroma is now starting to be recognized as a contamination of the oil due to excessive heating during processing. The coconut meat is finely spun, and the milk and oil separate, much in the same way cream separates from dairy milk. It requires quite a few passes through the centrifuge to obtain pure oil. The temperature during the entire process is monitored to be under 38 C. The coconut has cultural and religious significance in certain societies, particularly in the Western Pacific Austronesian cultures, where it features in their mythologies, songs, and oral traditions. It also had ceremonial importance in pre-colonial and animistic religions. It has also acquired religious significance in South Asian cultures, where it is used in Hindu rituals. It forms the basis of wedding and worship rituals in Hinduism. It also plays a central role in the coconut religion of Vietnam. The fulling of their mature fruit has led to a preoccupation with death by coconut. Coconuts were first domesticated by the Austronesian peoples in island Southeast Asia, and were spread during the Neolithic via their seaborne migrations as far east as the Pacific Islands, and as far west as Madagascar and Comoros. They played a critical role in the long sea voyages of Austronesians, by providing a portable source of food and water, as well as providing building materials for Austronesian outrigger boats. Coconuts were also later spread in historic times along the coasts of the Indian and Atlantic Oceans by South Asian, Arab, and European sailors. Based on these separate introductions, coconut populations can still be divided into Pacific coconuts and Indo-Atlantic coconuts, respectively. Coconuts were introduced by Europeans to the Americas only during the colonial era and the Columbian Exchange, but there is evidence of a possible pre-Columbian introduction of Pacific coconuts to Panama by Austronesian sailors. The evolutionary origin of the coconut is under dispute, with theories stating that it may have evolved in Asia, South America, or on Pacific islands. Trees grow up to 30 meters tall, and can yield up to 75 fruits per year, though fewer than 30 is more typical. Plants are intolerant of cold weather and prefer copious precipitation, as well as full sunlight. Many insect pests and diseases affect the species, and are a nuisance for commercial production. About 75% of the world's supply of coconuts is produced by Indonesia, the Philippines, and India. The coconut tree is the official state tree of Kerala, India. Copra is the dried meat of the seed, and after processing produces coconut oil and coconut meal. Coconut oil, aside from being used in cooking as an ingredient and for frying, is used in soaps, cosmetics, hair oil, and massage oil. Coconut oil is also the main ingredient in Ayurvedic oils. In Vanuatu, coconut palms for copra production are generally spaced 9 meters, 30 feet, apart, allowing a tree density of 100 to 160 per hectare. Coir, the fiber from the husk of the coconut, is used in ropes, mats, doormats, brushes, and sacks, as caulking for boats, and as stuffing fiber for mattresses. It is used in horticulture and potting compost, especially in orchid mix. The coir is used to make brooms in Cambodia. The stiff midribs of coconut leaves are used for making brooms in India, Indonesia, Malaysia, the Maldives, and the Philippines. The green of the leaves is stripped away, leaving the veins, long, thin, wood-like strips, which are tied together, to form a broom or brush. A long handle made from some other wood may be inserted into the base of the bundle, and used as a two-handed broom. The leaves also provide material for baskets that can draw well water, and for roofing thatch. They can be woven into mats, cooking skewers, and kindling arrows as well. The leftover fiber from coconut oil and coconut milk production, coconut meal, is used as livestock feed. The dried calyx is used as fuel in wood-fired stoves. Coconut water is traditionally used as a growth supplement in plant tissue culture and micropropagation. The smell of coconuts comes from the 6-pentaloxin-2,1 molecule, known as decolactin in the food and fragrance industries. The roots are used as a dye, a mouthwash, and folk medicine for diarrhea and dysentery. A frayed piece of root can also be used as a toothbrush. In Cambodia, the roots are used in traditional medicine as a treatment for dysentery. Newly germinated coconuts contain a spherical edible mass known as the sprouted coconut or coconut sprout. It has a crunchy watery texture and a slightly sweet taste. It is eaten as is, or used as an ingredient in various dishes. It is produced as the endosperm nourishes the developing embryo. It is a haustorium, a spongy absorbent tissue formed from the distal portion of the embryo during coconut germination, facilitating the absorption of nutrients for the growing shoot and root.